Doug Meredith. I was active duty Air Force from 1983 to 1994. I spent my entire career at Tank Air Force Base, Oklahoma, in the 3rd Combat Communications Group. I did TDYs in Honduras 3 times, Desert Storm, Desert Shield for 10 months, Washington, D.C., Kansas, Texas. Retired in 2004, 21 years of total service. And ever since I was young, I always thought it was cool. We used to play Army and build forts and all kinds of stuff in the woods around our house. And I think as I got older, I wish I was lived with a single mom that had 2 boys, and we had no idea about college and what the costs were. And I tried it, couldn't afford it. I thought I had money and didn't realize how much it cost. My mom had no clue. She didn't make enough money. So I figured it was probably the best way to get a job afterwards, education, help with education. So we got our orders in November of 90 and shipped out December 7th, I believe, early December, to the Gulf War. It was Desert Shield then. And I stayed there until June of 1991, so about 7 months, 8 months. Ever since I've been back, I've had a lot of chronic fatigue issues. Depression probably kicked in. It wasn't really totally diagnosed until probably early 2000s, but I had depression that I could tell, knew something was wrong. So definitely was not the same when I came back as like before I went there. I had tons of energy. I lost 60 pounds, I think, 50 some pounds while I was there. There was a lot of stress. There was a lot of just anxiety, all kinds of stuff when I came back. So we also were given, once we got there, the P tablets, which I believe are also in my shot records. Got those, started taking those. Those definitely had an effect on my attitude and just overall, when I taken them, it was something different. So we took them. I remember one day, probably after the first week or 2 of taking those, reading a newspaper, and drop of blood hit the newspaper and it came out of my nose. Had no idea. My nose, just out of nowhere, my nose just started bleeding. It only happened probably twice, but it did happen, and I've ever had a bloody nose in my life. So that was kind of weird. The entire time I was there, I smelled smoke, burning. There was fires all around it. It got really dark and nasty and sooty and dusty. I did file for Gulf War syndrome I think it was probably late last year. Shot records, I put entire write-ups of stuff that I had seen while I was there, the stress and anxiety I'd gone through, and specific examples of what happened, including the P tablets, the smells, the burning, the anxiety of when the ground attack and putting our chem gear, all kinds of stuff in here, and bomb explosions in a distance, and was really quickly denied. There's really no explanation when you get denied. I still got the letter. It's pretty flat out. Just you were denied benefits. So, and it's not about the money. Could care less about the money. It's the fact that I want it to be aware in case it affects the rest of my family, if it's passed down, or if I do need medical assistance that my civilian service won't cover. It needs to be covered. In the past, when I've filed for VA, well, for my fractured finger, it took almost a year to approve. But when you have the evidence in front of you, I think it's ridiculous that we're rejecting 80%. That's just flat out ridiculous. 700,000 people there, and 80%, that's no. My other uncle, Lyle Dingman, has never filed for disability, and I believe it's because it's the whole thing of, why bother when you're going to get denied. He's had post-traumatic stress disorder, has since he came back, and this is 40 years later. He still deals with it. He's afraid to file because he's just going to waste his time. So VA somehow is going to make it easier with these people that have real issues. Something like that would help. Somebody like that is a perfect example where compensation would help. So, yeah. Where they don't have enough people. We've been throwing money at the VA for years, and believe me, I'm retired military, but it's not working. So something has got to change. But there are real people that have issues, and we're just ignoring them, and we're not helping them. The access needs to be better. The outreach definitely needs to be better. I still think there's people that have no idea that this is happening.